Welcome back, Algebra 2 students. Continuing our section 4.4, we're on 4.4c today. So last lesson we learned how to add rational expressions. Today we are going to subtract rational expressions. So our learning target for today is I can subtract rational expressions. Looking at the first example, we are subtracting these two rational expressions, and we're going to start out this problem just how we started out the addition problems. So we're going to factor the denominators first. So go ahead and factor the denominators for both of them. Factor this one. All right, they're factored. Now we're going to use those factored denominators to find the LCM. So find the LCM here. Okay. So I have x plus 2, x minus 8, that's a repeat, x plus 4. So that is our LCM. Okay, we're going to use that LCM as our common denominator. So far, everything is the same as when we were doing the addition. Same success criteria to this point. So we're going to use this LCM as our common denominator. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Bring that numerator down, and I'm going to put it over the LCM. Bring down the next one over the LCM. Okay. Step 4. We're going to multiply by what's missing. And this is the same as adding. So you're comparing the two denominators, and you're going to find what's missing. So they both have this x plus 2, both have this x minus 8. It's missing this x plus 4. So that's what we multiply to the numerator there. We're going to do the same thing here. Both have the x plus 2, both have the x plus 4. It's missing this x plus 8, x minus 8. So I'm going to multiply that to the numerator up top. So multiply numerator by what's missing. From original denominator. All right, step 5. We are going to either FOIL or distribute the numerator. FOIL or distribute the numerator. However, this is where it gets a little bit different from addition. When you're subtracting, you're going to FOIL and distribute the numerators, but you're going to keep the fractions separate. Before, in addition, we just put it all together in one step. Subtraction, you can't do that. So you're going to FOIL or distribute the numerator, keeping the fractions separate. So that's what's different there. So let's go ahead and do that. So this is going to be a FOIL. So I'm going to FOIL that. I'm going to keep it separate. Okay, bring down that subtraction. And again, I'm foiling here as well. Over the LCM. All right, so I FOILed out the numerators, but I kept the fractions separate. And this is why. You have to keep the fractions separate because this minus sign needs to be distributed like a -1 to the numerator of the second fraction here. So I'm going to distribute this negative to each of these terms in the second fraction. So that's our next step. Distribute negative to numerator of the second fraction. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to take this negative here. I'm going to treat it like a -1, and I'm going to distribute to each term that follows it. So each term of this numerator here, distribute that negative sign. So these, nothing happens to these. This just comes straight down. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and distribute. So it's going to change all these signs basically. Okay, now I can put them all over the LCM. All right, so we distributed that negative. We're going to put it all over the same denominator. Now we can, step 7, combine your like terms in the numerator on the top. So combine like terms for the numerator. Just go ahead and write that out. Okay. So combine your like terms, those cancel out, and I've got all of my x's here, and that ends up being 12x. And then I'll add 4 and 8, that's also 12 there. And then that's all over the LCM. All right, just combine my like terms. Now I can state my domain. What are the restrictions on x? X cannot be -2, 8, or -4. Now I'm going to factor the numerator. So I can pull out a 12 here. Bring down that denominator. All right, And then I'm going to simplify if I can. Can anything cancel out here? Anything the same top and bottom? No. So that is my final answer for all x not equal to -2, 8, and -4. Whew, take a breath. That was a long one. All right, let's try some practice problems. Keep that success criteria handy as you work through this next one and try it on your own. All right, so the first step is to factor the denominators. So we're gonna factor the denominators first. That one's simple, as factored as you can get, so we're good there. Now we're gonna use those and find the LCM. That's a repeat, don't need it. So I got my LCM. Then I'm gonna use that LCM as my common denominator. So bring down the numerators over the common denominator, which is the LCM. Okay, got my problem set up here. Now I'm going to compare the denominators. What's missing? They both have the x plus 5. They both have the x minus 5. It isn't missing anything. So I do not need to multiply anything to the top. We're good to go. Now I'm going to check this one. We both have the x plus 5s. It's missing that x minus 5. So that's what I'm going to multiply to the top for that one. Now, I am going to distribute or FOIL anything I can on the numerator, which would be this 2 here. Distribute this 2. So I'll bring this down. Remember, when you're subtracting, you want to keep those fractions separate. So 2x minus 10. All right, so now, here's your added step. This is what makes it different from addition. You have to distribute that negative. So I'm going to bring down the 3x minus 5. Now I can put them all together after I have distributed that negative. So change the signs here. So negative 2x plus 10. All over the LCM. All right. Now you're going to combine like terms in the numerator. Bring down your denominator. Okay. Can't factor it any further than that, so that's good to go. So now I can state my domain. So x cannot be -5 or 5. Now I can simplify. I'm seeing if anything's the same top and bottom, which is these x plus 5, so those cancel out. So I'm not left with anything on the top, so that would be a 1, so it's going to be 1 over x minus 5 for all x not equal to -5 or 5. And that is your answer there. Okay, we've got one more to try. Last try it. Try that one on your own. Okay, the first thing you need to do is factor the denominators. Got a difference of squares here. Factor that up. That's good to go. I'm going to use those factored denominators to find my LCM. repeat, don't need it. Got my LCM. Gonna use my LCM as my new common denominator. All right, got that set up. Now I'm gonna compare my denominators. See what's missing. Both have an x plus 1, both have an x minus 1. Not missing anything. We're good. We don't need to multiply anything to the top there. Both have my x minus 1. It is missing the x plus 1. So that's what I need to multiply to the top there. Remember, we're subtracting, so we want to keep these fractions separate for our distributing or foiling of the numerators. This one's good to go. I do need to distribute that 4 there. Okay. Now, I need to distribute this negative. So I'm going to do that, and I can start putting it all together now. So bring down that 4x, distribute the negative, so that makes it minus 4x minus 4 all over the LCM for your denominator. Okay, now we can combine our like terms on the numerator. So I just have negative 4 there. Now I'm going to factor the numerator. Can't be factored, it's just negative 4. We're good to go there. Now I'm going to give my domain. X cannot be negative 1 or positive 1. I'm going to see if I can simplify. Anything on the same top and bottom? Nope. It's already simplified. And that is your answer. All right, so now we know how to find an LCM, how to add rational expressions, and how to subtract rational expressions.